focus high. Baba Yaga on the rise. Zero view से start किया scene, code और servers life routine. दिन भर काम रात को stream, सपना बड़ा chasing dream. Need कम पर सपने heavy, दिल में आग mindset steady. लोग बोले थे नहीं होगा, अब कह रहे तू ready है. No sleep, grind mode on, click click headshot game strong. Zero से hero नाम बना, stream पे आजा बाबा यागा. तुम जो हो सातो हिम्मत बनी, हर एक view मेरी ताकत बनी. चार्ट में नाम तुम्हारा लिखा, मेरी जीत की वजह तुम ही. like शेर हर support याद, हर एक बंदा मेरा स्क्वाड है. आज जो हूँ मैं यहाँ तक, तुम सबका ही ये रिवॉर्ड है. No sleep, grind mode, grind mode. Headshot. ये सिर्फ मेरा नहीं, ये हम सबका शो. बाबा यागा हूँ. तेरे बजे स्क्रीन पे लाइट, सिस्टम मत में दिन गेमर बाय नाइट. साइलेंट ग्राइंड फोकस हाई, बाबा यागा ऑन द राइज. जीरो व्यू से स्टार्ट किया सीन, कोड और सर्वर्स लाइफ रूटीन. दिन भर काम रात को स्ट्रीम, सपना बड़ा चेसिंग ड्रीम. नींद कम पर सपने हेवी, दिल में आग माइंडसेट स्टेडी. लोग बोले थे नहीं होगा, अब कह रहे तू रेडी है. नो स्लीप, ग्राइंड मोड ऑन, क्लिक क्लिक हेडशॉट गेम स्ट्रॉन्ग. जीरो से हीरो नाम बना, स्ट्रीम पे आजा बाबा यागा. तुम जो हो सातो हिम्मत बनी, हर एक व्यू मेरी ताकत बनी. चार्ट में नाम तुम्हारा लिखा, मेरी जीत की वजह तुम ही. like शेर हर सपोर्ट याद, हर एक बंदा मेरा स्क्वाड है. आज जो हूँ मैं यहाँ तक, तुम सबका ही ये रिवॉर्ड है. No sleep, grind mode, grind mode. Headshot. ये सिर्फ मेरा नहीं, ये हम सबका शो. बाबा यागा हूँ. तेरे बजे स्क्रीन पे लाइट सिस्टम में दिन गेमर बाय नाइट साइलेंट ग्राइंड फोकस हाई बाबा यागा ऑन द राइज जीरो व्यू से स्टार्ट किया सीन कोड और सर्वर्स लाइफ रूटीन दिन भर काम रात को स्ट्रीम सपना बड़ा चेसिंग ड्रीम नींद कम पर सपने हैवी दिल में आग माइंडसेट स्टेडी लोग बोले थे नहीं होगा अब कह रहे तू रेडी है नो स्लीप ग्राइंड मोड ऑन क्लिक क्लिक हेडशॉट गेम स्ट्रॉन्ग जीरो से हीरो नाम बना स्ट्रीम पे आजा बाबा यागा तुम जो हो सातो हिम्मत बनी हर एक व्यू मेरी ताकत बनी चार्ट में नाम तुम्हारा लिखा मेरी जीत की वजह तुम ही लाइक शेर हर सपोर्ट याद हर एक बंदा मेरा स्क्वाड है आज जो हूँ मैं यहाँ तक तुम सबका
यो बॉयज क्या हाल चाल है कैसे हो यार और मैं आज फिर की तरह दोबारा से लेट हूँ क्योंकि ऑफिस खैर इन चीज़ों को छोड़ते हैं कल का मैच हमारा मिस हो गया था जो मैं बाइक के काम से गया हुआ था और आज जो है डे 8 चल रहा है आज मैच होना है नॉक्शिम और क्या नाम है यार दूसरी टीम का नाम ही मैं भूल गया हूँ भाई साहब क्या ही बात है हमारी ठीक है टीम वाइटैलिटी और नोंगशिम का तो लास्ट टाइम जो मैंने मैच देखा था वो तो बड़े मज़े का था नोंगशिम वालों ने बहुत अच्छा खेला था और जो साथ टीम थी अपोनेंट वो भी बड़ा फिट खेल रही थी और बहुत लंबे मैच गए थे ये वाले तो आज देखते हैं टीम वाइटैलिटी एंड नोंगशिम कैसा खेलती हैं लेट्स सी क्योंकि मैं लेट आता हूँ तो इसलिए मैं स्ट्रीम पीछे से शुरू करता हूँ देखना और उसको पूरा कवर करता हूँ तो हम चलते हैं मैच की तरफ बट उससे पहले मैं कुछ खाने के लिए ले आऊँ ठीक है क्योंकि मुझे लगी हुई है भूख हम इसको एक काम करते हैं कि हम इसको चलाते हैं और ले आते हैं चीज़ें खाने के लिए एक तो मेरी आवाज़ वैसे बेस वाली है और माइक ज़्यादा बेस पकड़ता है आज मैं एक अपने ऑफिस में लाइव स्ट्रीम देख रहा था तो वहाँ पे कुछ ज़्यादा ही बेस मुझे भी फील हो रही थी और जब पैसा माइक हो आपके पास तो वो बेस ज़्यादा कैप्चर करता है अगर मेरे पास इन हैंड फ्री का अगर मैं माइक यूज़ करूँ तो फिर आवाज़ मेरी और तरह की आएगी स्टैटिक सी बट लेट्स सी क्या हो सकता है इसका कुछ नहीं हो सकता खुद अपनी आवाज़ पतली करनी पड़ेगी फ़िल्टर डाल के एनीवेज इसको मैं प्ले करता हूँ लाइव स्ट्रीम को और मैं किचन से लेकर आता हूँ ठीक है
personal reminder of who they defeated. The rest are preserved beneath the totem in resin. Every fallen contender captured forever. Will you be remembered or forgotten beneath the totem? At EWC, nothing is granted. Everything is earned.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by play.
Day one of the playoffs is in the books. Some unforgettable plays secured two teams a semi-final spot. but there are still 2 more up for grabs. Today, the French favorites Team Vitality face a tough test against Masters Santiago winners NongShim RedForce. Then 100 Thieves and MIBR Los face off in an all-American clash that will see these 2 rivals push each other to the limit. Winners will take 1 more step towards the trophy. The losers will head home. The stakes have been raised.
Okay, finally.
For the quarterfinals.
मुझे 1 मिनट और लग जाएगा, 1 मिनट और मैं वापस आ रहा हूँ, ठीक है? समझ गया एनिमेशन है। प्रीवियस जितने भी मैच हुए हैं उनके मोन्टाज भी बनाए हैं, और ये जो फिल्टर यूज़ हुआ है मुझे काफ़ी कमाल का लग रहा है। आइस क्या बात है।
Ladies and gentlemen, one and all, welcome back to the City of Love. We are live in downtown Paris. It's EWC 2026, and we are here on the main stage in the STC Arena for Valorant. I'm your host, Chris Puckett, alongside 2 of my favorite humans. I have a casting crush on this duo, Kukuka.
Okay, Kukuka, big time.
Do you want me to show my nails?
Yeah,
I mean,
look at these things.
I think that this is a
Straight chain कर दिया
beautiful
इन्होंने।
one. But yeah, I collect them. I actually
Nice.
have a very long collection of nails.
Okay.
And this one's are for the finals. Yeah.
I did not know that you collected nails. That
Yeah.
is a fantastic new piece of knowledge.
Crazy thing to do.
They look
I know
good. Big time. I know you're collecting paychecks here. Who do you expect to collect the most money though, at EWC for Valorant?
For Valorant, so that's who's going to win the tournament. Look,
Correct.
I picked Vitality, but I kind of hope I'm wrong today. If they go home today,
Wait,
look, I'm not mad about it.
I'm
not
gonna
mad
stop
about it.
you right there. You chose Vitality?
I did choose Vitality.
You had one job. You had one job. There had to be one person
Look.
that was going to be rooting for NongShim.
That's Achilles. He went for it. He got
Thank
that
God-
cover.
Thank God that men
casters
like Sev exist.
don't cheer for the Pacific teams. Mitch was doing the same thing through groups. Let's take a look, though, at our brackets because NongShim is the only hope of the Pacific left in our 18
NongShim ने बहुत
It's
बेहतरीन
single
खेला था
elimination,
यार।
and we've already sent 2 squads packing as the Heretics and Gentlemates were eliminated last night. So, Kukuka, walk me through what do we have in front of us today?
So for today, we have 100 Thieves versus MIBR Lost that battle in America's
Okay.
2 teams. One of them being 100 Thieves that surprised us for the positive side. And then MIBR, I think that is what the team that everybody expects to do a little bit better, but
Yeah.
somehow are not believing because of the results that they've shown, so I cannot blame the people. And then for the other one, the winner of EWC 2026 will be in that match. That is what she said.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm stealing. The winner of EWC will be in that match.
I like this call out. Let's take a look here.
ओए अभी तक इधर बैठा हुआ है।
Yesterday's top performers, and I want to get your thoughts first, big time. Chat, let me know if you agree
Dota.
with them. Who was the day 1 MVP?
Dota
Which
खेलती
team
हो।
did they play for?
Look, we had some crazy performances yesterday. I have to give full credit to NRG. They played in a hostile environment but made it work. But when I'm talking about MVPs, I'm talking a guy who's the most valuable.
NongShim और Team Vitality का match है आज।
LaRock. Full love and respect to that guy. Not only was he amazing in the server, he was amazing outside of the server.
Best personality on the stage
He's
yesterday.
the whole of day 1, he's my MVP. He's got it covered everywhere.
For those that missed LaRock's statement that he made out of game, what did he happen to do at the end of that match, Kukuka?
Well, whilst he was crushing Team Heretics Key, the title defenders here in Valorant for EWC, he told the Gentlemates fans, by the way, were thousands here at the arena, that they should enjoy the day because NRG was going to send them home, and this was going to be the last time that they saw them. And he was right.
He was pretty right. Take a look at
For
some
a
of the
while
other
he
top...
wasn't, which was the funniest thing because mates were looking amazing and were making NRG look a little bit like fools. And then we had players like Kiko, players like Mata, even Ethan surprising in the duelist, just giving a different angle to that narrative.
What did you like from the NRG boys? Was it Kiko popping off for you, or does Mata win the head of the MVP race for NRG?
I think for me, look, I think Keiko was solid all day. Love Keiko, he's my guy. But
उसी पता चल गया मेरा aim क्यों नहीं होता.
Especially when it got tight, it went across to that map 3. The pressure really starts to mount. But there's a saying which is big time players make big time plays.
मैंने कहा पता चल गया मेरा aim क्यों नहीं होता.
Big time player there.
That's why you got that name.
मैंने अपनी नाक क्रॉसहेयर के साथ नहीं जोड़ी भी होती.
Big time caster, big time plays, big time coaching, big time paydays. We take a look here at the best plays from yesterday. Let us know which one of these 4 do you have as the front runner of MVP. That is day 1.
अगर मैंने नाक जोड़ी भी होती तो मेरे भी ascendant होता.
More matches to go. If anyone is watching at home, who are some of the squads that you're excited to see? Any players in particular, big time?
Look, okay, now I gotta hype up my boys in Pacific.
Okay, go.
But today, it's all about Danby for me. If NongShim are gonna get it done, Danby will be the guy. He will be on that
Danby will be the
almost
guy.
certainly where he's at home, where he won the MVP over in Santiago. If he could, there's anyone who can make it work, it's him.
Yeah, I think it must be very difficult for you to look at your team and be like, well, we have one superstar.
Wow.
Because on the side of Vitality, you have Sayonara, who has been the least of the rotten apples, turning 18 and actually performing the way that he was expected to. You have Chronicle. Does Chronicle even need an introduction?
Is he good?
Is he good?
I think I've heard of him.
Listen, you use Chronicle. You use Chronicle level to base if you're good or not. That is what you aim to be. You aim to be Chronicle.
Got it.
You have Durkin. Have you heard of Durkin Time?
Who?
Insane.
Pretty solid guy for Fnatic in the past. In the meantime, we got to check in with one of our favorite co-casters. He was hosting the show yesterday. Right now, he's down on the floor with Vitality. Digon, what's going on out there?
Hey everyone, I'm here with founder, heartbeat of Vitality. It is Neo. At the Vitality booth here at EWC. Thanks for spending time with us.
Thank you for having me.
It has been such a great journey here in terms of esports. You have a bunch of different titles across the club championship. Last year, you came very close to winning the top there. What are the goals? What have you learned from last year into this year for the club championship?
Definitely, I think we want to give a fair and nice battle to the other contenders, and of course, you know, like there is a big name Falcons, you know, that's won back-to-back.
Might have heard of them.
Of course, they are the biggest favorite of this tournament, and we want to challenge them, especially that we are at home, you know, like, and it feels special to play in front of our home crowd in our city. So I hope that EWC 2026 belongs to Vitality, but let's say that second place can make my life a bit better as well, but I think, let's dream bigger.
What do you hope that all of the Vitalities, the bees that are here, can provide to the players, given the fact that a lot of the time they're playing at the studio? What's the big difference here with the fans?
Oh, I think this is something that we discuss a lot, you know, like most of our players, they are big stage guys, you know, they like to step in, they like to prove themselves in front of this kind of audience, and this is where champions are born and made. And I think it's really important to play in front of this audience, and I'm grateful that we managed to a really short amount of time to construct and build something that's as big as it looks like right now. And yeah, I think it will be definitely one of the key markers for us, because we need overperformance to beat Falcons, and when overperformance, you need probably a 6-man, and 6-man is definitely the audience.
Absolutely. Now, here in Valorant, it was a big overhaul of the roster. You've gone with Pal at the head coach and kind of running this kind of project here. Then you added Sayonara recently. Kind of talk me through these changes here with the Valorant squad, and what are you most excited about for them?
Definitely, last year we had big ups because we managed to win the kickoff and we figured out super well at Bangkok. I think it was a bit heartbreaking fashion to lose over there. 1T1 frankly was an amazing winner, and then after this it was more complicated. We know we have some inner fights that created like some tension, and ultimately I had the feeling that the foundation was not sustainable anymore. So we had to get from the really beginning, and I think Pal is probably one of the brilliant minds that we have in the Valorant ecosystem. I think it's probably one of the best coach that Europe have been nourished, and yeah, I think I was starting with this piece, and ultimately, you know, when you have this kind of guy, you want to assemble like a team that is full of ambition. And I had Derke, that was a nice starting And then I had my eyes set on a Wonder Kids named Sayonara, and you know, like Wonder Kids and Vitality, it means something. We have Zen in Rocket League, Zaiwu in Counter-Strike, and I hope that Sayonara can be this type of beast.
Yeah, very stacked with talent across the board. You heard Neo's thoughts.
Here, I think that's something that we try and aim to do. We're obviously, it's really important for us to progress in the club championship.
서로 자랑스럽게 해도 된다고 생각을 하고요. 일단은 많은 팀들도 이제 저희랑 같이
It's as important as any team to place in the club championship. Getting those points is huge for that nice little bonus.
The club championship points are pretty important for 100 Thieves. I know especially last year we tried our best to get as many as we could, and this year we're doing the same.
We already did some part of our job. Our bosses are happy, if I can say, so like there is nothing else to say. Vitality as an org, they might be like the first one who actually will secure that championship, like if not like for example Falcons, like it will be super funny to see.
If every team does good in their tournament, it's gonna be good for my BR. We're gonna do our best to get the club championship.
Honestly, I don't know how the rest of the clubs are doing in championship points, but I wish Falcons was, you know, here so then we could deny them. That would be the funniest thing.
Yeah, let's get these Falcons guys off the throne. Let's not have them sitting there for another year in a row. We want to be the team that makes the difference for the rest of the club. That's a privilege. That's something that management have done a fantastic job of really supporting us with and putting us in a position to do. That's the challenge that we're here for. It's time for Vitality. We want to see the fans enjoying that as well. We want to see them coming to get to celebrate this tournament and celebrate our participation in it.
It was a huge thing for Heretics that we just won Valorant. Yeah, it put them like really high in the club championship.
No pressure coming from the organization.
हेलो
They
लाइट
believe in us and
चला ले भाई नहीं बिल आता यार लाइट से बहुत ज़्यादा ब्राइट हो जाता है ना
kind of take the same kind of result as what we did last year.
बहुत ज़्यादा ब्राइट हो जाता है उसको कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकते फिर लाइट लगा लेता हूँ बस लाइट से बहुत ज़्यादा ब्राइट हो जाता है यार
Joining us here is Tristan and Kashu here, fans of Vitality. How do you feel about today's match against NongShim RedForce?
I think we're just gonna destroy them. Yeah, it's the same feeling. I think it will be quick 2-0.
अभी ठीक है
What makes you so excited about Team Vitality? How'd you become a fan?
So my brother, so he just introduced me to the esports on CS:GO, and I just continue to follow them and just come to be a fan of Vitality.
अभी भी come to Dubai stream को like करो यार share भी करो
I'm an esports fan, so I
share करते नहीं फिर कहते views नहीं है
but a lot of games and mainly Counter-Strike.
बेहतरीन आप बेहतरीन है
See Vitality, I become a fan and I just watch them on every game. So here I'm for Valorant.
बहुत ज़्यादा वाइट होता है ना बिल्कुल वाइट वाइट वाइट
It's awesome to hear from the players and the fans, and as you can see, Vitality ready to take the stage as Chronicle and crew are rolling through. They're about to put it on for Europe. We've got big time here ready to talk about what's going on today, because as much as Vitality was expected to be here, there were a lot of questions about this team. NongShim coming in, the only squad representing Pacific, and they could be
ओके है असल में तुम्हारी हरकतें भी ब्लैक है ना इसलिए डार्क थीम लाइक करते हो जो बात है यार
for the last couple years now. We seem to keep winning these trophies and it's always looking good internationally, but here at EWC we haven't found that success. NongShim RedForce, the only team to make it out of the groups, and they have had an incredible
यार वो डार्क लाल लाल से अच्छा लगता है ना अंधेरा पसंद है ना हमें आदिवासी लोग हैं हम अंधेरे में रहने वाले क्या कहते हैं पहाड़ी हैं कैमरा ब्लर ब्लर है तेरा साइड से हाँ वो साइड से ब्लर किया हुआ है अब क्या कहते हो पूरा क्लियर करके रखूं ये लो यार साइड से खुद ब्लर किया हुआ है मैंने ये लो वो ब्लर भी हटा दिया और बताओ
top 3 with him on Neon. Is he playing Neon all games today?
I would hope
ये
so.
लो और सफेद कर देता हूँ
I will have a problem. Maybe I have to go on stage. Maybe I have to talk
तुम्हारी
to them.
चैट फिर भी
Maybe I got to intervene here to keep Pacific alive.
रेड आ रहा है मतलब
Yes, they can. It's doable. Is it easy? No. Is it a walk in the park? No. Is it doable? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
डांस भी कर थोड़ा बहुत हाँ सही है
just the Neon. Kakuka, how can NongShim win this?
डांस भी करता हूँ मैं बस सीखना पड़ेगा हाँ वो लिखा आता रहेगा जब तक कोई और पैसे नहीं भेजेगा तब तक वो आता रहेगा तब तक वो आता रहेगा
is the fact that if you have a player that is that good, you do not want to put him in a situation where it's so easy for him to die at the beginning of the round.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, no one can create the pressure in this space that Dambi can create whilst playing on the Neon.
Dambi.
So he's the most worthy of the sacrifices.
I mean, that's exactly it. He was often the self-described tank of this team. His job is go in and die, soak that utility.
Soak up all that utility, let your teammates frag out. Well, a guy who is also looking to soak and frag out today goes by the name of Yampy. He's been doing it his whole career.
की डिस्कशन रह गई है वो कब करनी है रात को आता हूँ ना अच्छा हम भी होगा मैं भी होऊंगा करते हैं और कल की शिफ्ट का क्या सीन है फिर कल फाइनल्स हैं कल और परसों
Yeah, it went super fast, you know, like when I joined the scene, I was probably one of the
खुशबू लगा के आना खुशबू मेरे पास अर्थ भी है वाटर भी है और एक और भी है पता नहीं कौन सी लगा के हूँ आइडियाज का पहले मेरे पास अर्थ था ना अर्थ अब वाटर भी है
normal. Of course, the time was a little bit different because normally in VCT you have like almost 1 week to prep. Now you just have a couple of days, so yeah.
How great is it to now be here in Paris in front of these fans for Vitality who have just shown up here and given you a lot of support?
Yeah, it's always fun, you know, like normally when we play on stages there is not so many fans, so
सारे ऑफिस लेआउट टेस्ट कर लेंगे कौन सा चेक ऑफिस लाने वाले नहीं हैं अर्थ तो बैग में होता है
Awesome stuff there from Yampy. He, of course, will be the IGL in the game. Kakuka, if he is going to lead the lobby, though, in frags, he's done it in his career. What's his best agent?
His best agent? Oh, that's such a funny question because if you ask me, I would say Chamber, and if you know, you know. But seriously, Yampy's played everything.
Yeah.
The Killjoy, the Omen, the Jet. Like, you have to have been here to follow his entire journey. And to me, Yampy is not only about the things that he's done in Valorant, he has an entire career in esports. And for him coming into this tournament, he's one of the players to look at because, yes, in Vitality...
सारे चले गए ऑफिस से
they shoot so heavily that you forget that Yampy is also there, and he's one of the most cerebral and the smartest players that we have in EMEA.
Where does the big brain choose to play? That is the question as we have our map vetoes up and running, and it looks like
फ्रैक्चर बैन कर दिया है लूटस भी बैन कर दिया है एसेंट पिक की है नॉक्शिम ने और वाइटैलिटी ने पिक की है स्प्लिट हेवन बैन सनसेट बैन और डिसाइडर में ब्रीज है
from NongShim over in the group stages against Gentlemates.
Wow.
I think it was a 13-3 against them.
Ascent or split दोनों ही ठीक में
Neon isn't a natural fit there at all, so it makes a lot of sense for me to see Vitality target.
It's okay, you can just say Vitality was very smart because Neon is not a good fit for Ascent. You can say it. It's okay if that is also truth. I was surprised because Vitality, of course, have the higher seed because they come in as the 2-0 team, and they decided to be Team A, right? With both of the teams having the possibility to ban that fracture, they don't care about that. They want to make sure that they get the side select on the last one and probably, you know, I like that kind of mind game. But yeah, I agree with you. Although I will say, for most of the matches that we've seen being incredibly dominant during the group stage, where they're like, oh, this is a weak map for someone, look at what happened to Heretics, what happened with
that's
NRG.
true.
Teams have been able to bounce back in maps that weren't good for them.
We have the match ready in 15 seconds, so final predictions. I know you've got them in on EWC Play, but get it on air big time. Where are you going?
Vitality 2-1. I'm sorry.
Vitality 2-1.
2-0. Spain's playing later. We got to get out of here.
Vitality. I represent APAC. Let's send it to the stage for NongShim to walk away with the upset, shall we?
Super interesting to play in front of French fans, especially the ones that will be on our side 100%, and also specific to our club as well. Golden Hornets will be probably here, and it will be really funny to see. I think we are being very critical into the way how we play the game. We are always trying to seek improvement, and we are trying not to be stuck into, first of all, in the past. For us, it's always the efficiency mindset. That's something that helps us to play not only good on officials, but also on practices. Like we are not setting too much expectations from ourselves. I mean, we are still confident. Without confidence, we will be never here. So for us, it's always very important to keep up the confidence and again, just pull through.
패자조 브라켓이 없는 상위조 브라켓밖에 없는 이제
सर नाइट भी कर लेता हूँ वो भी दे दो
저는 당연하다고 생각을 하고 있고요. 그냥 앞에 있는 남은 세 경기를 그냥 무조건 이겨야겠다는 생각밖에 안 할 것 같습니다.
Against NongShim, I think they might start running it down in some ways, like they were starting
वो चाहे तो वो भी लाएगा ना
always working in terms of punishing some specific play styles or aggressive approaches from other teams, and that's where we should be just ready and be countering them in that regard. NongShim, be ready, we'll really surprise you.
저희 입장에서는 바이탈리티가 유럽의 슈퍼팀이라고 그렇게 부르기도 하거든요. 워낙 멤버들이 다들 경험치가 많은 선수들도 많고 그런 멤버들이 많다 보니까 일단은 그렇게 깊게 생각할 거 필요 없이 일단은 저희가 상대 스타일을 보면서 어떻게든 이겨보려고 계속 생각해내면서 그렇게 이길 것 같습니다.
मैंने तो उसे बता दिया था भाई कि मैंने स्ट्रीम में करनी है उसने मुझे पहले बताया था यार इस तरह से स्ट्रीम में मुझे करना 1 महीना और 2 महीने चाहिए हाँ उसको यही तो बात इन तुमने मुझे बताया था मेरी उससे बात हुई थी काफ़ी है रोज़ लाइव आती है वो मेरी तरह तो नहीं यार वो ऑफिस ही बैठेगा
Mesdames et messieurs, bonjour à tous, bienvenue à la STC Arena. Quel plaisir de se retrouver pour la deuxième journée de l'Esports World Cup Valorant. I am Lou, your host, and of course, with Ian Chambers.
It's a pleasure to be here. Salut Paris! What a time it is to be alive in Paris. We've got the Esports World Cup going on, of course. This is day 2 of Valorant at the STC Arena. And I was out and about on the streets of Paris last night, and it was a good time to be here, that's for sure.
I am very glad that you got a little taste of what it is to be in France, maybe to be French during the World Cup. Parce qu'effectivement, mesdames et messieurs, la France est en demi-finale de la Coupe du Monde.
चलो ठीक है ओके
Of course, there was lots of celebrations here in Paris last night when it came to the football, but here there was heartbreak. There was turmoil. We saw last year's reigning champions, Team Heretics, get crushed out of the tournament. And of course, the hometown favourites, Gentlemates, are out. I'm sorry.
You don't need to make it worse like this, you know, but it is true that we only have one French representative left here in Paris, which is Vitality. Donc effectivement, on a perdu Team Heretics. Il y aura dans tous les cas un nouveau champion de l'EWC cette année et également les Gentlemates. Malgré une ambiance de dingue, ils nous ont quittés. So yeah, last hopes on Team Vitality, I guess.
I mean, the cool and exciting thing about what we've got ahead of us here is that we are guaranteed to have a brand new winner here in Paris, and we are about to welcome our next contender onto the stage.
Un club de FPS de légende, leur équipe Valorant ne fait pas exception, vous le savez, eux aussi sont là à la maison. C'est Team Vitality.
Vitality.
Black and yellow is about to storm the stage. Here they are, a roster packed with winners, clutch players, and names that we know have what it takes to win.
Top of their group, looking confident, looking crazy. Let's see what the Vitality boys can do today.
And their opponents, NongShim RedForce.
Wow.
And they're getting booed
NongShim
while entering the stage,
RedForce.
but they have the hopes of Korea, the hopes of an entire continent on their shoulders. Le dernier espoir pour la Corée du Sud, c'est NongShim RedForce.
Twice they were asked the same question by G2, twice they gave the same answer. Now they step into the quarterfinals as the last Pacific team left, carrying a region, a reset, and a warning for everyone still in the bracket.
It's time to discover which one of their teams has what it takes to take the win on this quarterfinal.
Allez, let's go!
I am loving what we are seeing here on the stage. Excellent camera work from our directors behind the scene, and we're about to see an Emmy nominee-worthy performance by these teams. NongShim getting booed by the fans, and Kakuka, we were saying, it's so unfair. You boo America, we understand it. But you boo the nicest humans on the planet, the most kind, most well-behaved esports players.
Listen, I think that what Lou was saying on the stage is very important. At the end of the day, Vitality is the only French org left here in Valorant. So, of course, the crowd needs to be by their side. I am sorry, Morgan. I understand. Even you changed your mind and went for Vitality in the end.
Look, that's a prediction. That's not. That's what's in my heart. That's not what I want to happen. I'd love to be wrong today.
Your brain, not your heart.
Exactly. These NongShim RedForce kids, they have a lot of weight on their shoulders here, carrying not only a region, a whole hemisphere here in the Valorant competition. Doesn't get bigger than this in terms of pressure, but we know that they know how to deliver. We know they know how to lift trophies.
One of the coolest things I've seen from NongShim is their ability to bounce back. They can get destroyed in the first map and all of a sudden turn the game on its head in map number 2. They don't go down without a fight despite being down huge in rounds. Let's take a look at what they decide to bring out as we get into our agent selection. Vitality about to make their way to their stations. All smiles on the stage for now, Kakuka.
They're excited. Also, having the coach behind the players is such a cool setup that we do not have in EMEA. Between that and being able to bring papers onto the table, like, my heart is definitely here. But as you're saying, let's talk a little bit about Ascent, because we were speaking about the results for NongShim. Let's talk a little bit about Vitality as well. We saw them play against NRG, but it was just a 16-14 overtime.
Yeah.
Testing the waters might have been enough for them, and probably thinking of what you're saying, and then just making NongShim go to somewhere there where they will be uncomfortable no matter what might be the key for today.
Is that a normal thing in coaching in Valorant? Because in Call of Duty, you normally see people just try and play their best maps. Are you counter-picking more often in Valorant?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely comes up. These coaches are smart. If you see a weakness from a team, it's very easy to go, okay, especially if you feel like you can play it to a decent degree.
Right.
You see weakness, you smell blood in the water, you go for it.
Do you remember yesterday with NRG? I wouldn't blame Gentamates for wanting to go to the maps where Ethan is playing Neon. No shade to Ethan. Absolutely, we're not going there. We're not going there
Small
because
amount of shade.
I would no. If I actually wanted to shade him, I would. But that is not the case. But yeah, I can understand where it's like, oh, we see the weakness, something that we can exploit, and it happens quite often. I think that another one of the jewels that we need to highlight when we talk about the history of this game is Derke and RB. Both of these players have been playing for the longest time, but they haven't been playing against each other since 2023 in champs. And you guys remember how 2023 was for EMEA and especially Fnatic.
Yeah, look, we talk about the experience on the side of Vitality. RB is bringing experience in droves to NongShim. Cast your mind back, he's there on the original Vision Strikers. He's been there since the very start. Oh yeah,
playing Killjoy, playing Yoru. It really feels like RB has been everywhere.
Here we go. We got our agent selection in, and I was asking young Sayonara, the 18-year-old stud, What is his favorite? He can play 3 different roles. He said, I love to play the Sova, the Fade. He has more control over the games. Do you expect him to be showcasing that throughout this best of 3?
Well, he's going to have to do it on a Phoenix here today. Much more aggressive from him. To be fair, I like him in this secondary duelist role. I think it lets him really get stuck in the mixer there on the side of NongShim. This is what we expect from them. It's classic double duelist. Danby on his signature Neon, but look out for X-Ross. He has to go toe-to-toe with Sayonara there.
Seeing there on the jet, it's just
on Chrono the second sides.
NongShim mix the
about the anti-strats.
Ready, Arcastro. You.
Well, it's always wonderful to see fans in the stadium ready to root their team on up against NongShim. This is far from an easy matchup.
No, for sure. I think you come in with the NongShim squad basically going back to what won them Santiago. Like, let's go back to our style. Let's put Danby into that role where he can just show unmeasurable amounts of flair. And then on the other side, it's the opposite. It's Durka going, I didn't like the Neon, but I'm going back to my jet now that everything is fixed. Who's right? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But an aggressive start on contact to the cam. The problem is, it was Sayonara to land that first shot, and the trades just didn't come through for the side of NongShim.
Yeah, they've lost themselves the opening pick. Vitality now happy to run back, play somewhere else on the map, but NongShim are coming to meet them. The defense exploring mid, finding a lot of bodies there and a lot of bullets flying back in the other direction. It's going to be a 5v1. Ivy needing the start of dreams to even make a dent here.
Cage triggered.
Yeah, I can't say I'm much of a believer in this one. I like the plan initially, just have the cam for contact, flash off the back of it, and try and find the kill in A main. The problem is, they lost every single fight along the way. You can have the right idea, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work. Already, you can see that Sayonara's looking for those additional orbs, taking so much space, and also just the position of Profek. It almost seems like he forgot to leave the spawn. He's just watching. I will say, he's not really favored with a classic from this range, but maybe that won't matter too much. He's done damage, he's found info, and ultimately now will just be the cleanup in the end.
Yeah, of course, he was the one that activated the trip on A that kept Ivy over there as the plant was coming down on the other side, so he didn't want to rotate through. Now when there was likely to be a fight, got his scrap in the end, and, well, all things considered, I think Vitality are going to be pretty happy with how this round went. First fight goes their way, they group up on mid, they catch the counter push. From there, only lose the one. Easy as can be.
Good shot, boys. Yeah, I think a very comfortable win. And obviously we have to look back at what we've seen on this map so far. It was a dominant win for Mates versus NongShim when they played this map. Really struggled over on the attack side, so I think we're definitely looking to see if maybe the defensive side half will work out better for them. Already though, looking for an aggressive contact play. Again, it seems like the goal is have these little set pop flashes ready and then fighting off the back of them. It can be difficult at times to get value from the Phoenix on the defense if you don't have these sort of setups, but that's something that I feel like Vitality are going to have to figure out along the way, and already an opening pick in what is a round with very little to play with. We'll see how much damage NongShim can do.
And also when you're going into a stack, you're often going to want to have your Phoenix for exactly the reason that NongShim used him. That counter flash going through the window after Vitality tried to take B main. Now when you push out to a site, you're going to have to rely on perhaps that Vice flash. Make your way through. They're going to group up towards the B side. They've avoided the big danger, at least for now, the stack from NongShim. The numbers from the pistols where they really become deadly, but they're on the other side of the map. It's going to have to be Ivy just getting out, playing the retake with the squad. He's on 27 HP with a classic. He's not going to get much done if he stood his ground. So I like the adaptation. Chronicle doesn't do as well as he really needs to there. Luckily, that's just the pistol, but from here on out, there is a big chance for NongShim to make this at least a costly round.
Yeah, especially when you're looking at 3 rifles. Any of them dropped will mean they're not able to be rebought. This is aggressive from Durka, surprisingly aggressive, but has a teammate covering off the angle. make sure he can get out scot-free. Of course, they also don't want to get locked in. That's the other thing that must be going through the Vitality players' minds. If we sit back, they're going to use the spike against us. So we need to get aggressive. We need to take the space back away. And they actually do an excellent job. That could have been very, very costly for them. Instead, they kill all 4 remaining players. They lose no more of their own. And all the rifles, as you said, they'll be kept through to the next round.
Yeah, this is it. Like you said, it was an aggressive stance that they were going for, Tom, but it was necessary in that moment because, yeah, if you sit back in a 4v3, sure, they're probably not going to get to the site. They're probably not going to defuse the spike, but what they will do is sit outside and wait for you to come rushing out. And then you're either going down to the spike or you've got a pretty uncomfortable fight.
Elias, please don't.
We'll never know. Please don't what? Elias
Please
is
don't bark.
Something. Oh, I doubt he's asking that. Yeah,
I would have been, if anybody is asking it, it's probably Dirk.
I'm counter requesting. But no, that was
that's Powell's counter. He's going to take a pause and be like, we actually need more of that.
It was a very promising round from NongShim though. They're set up to start the round with that flash in main, waiting for contact. As soon as Vitality give it to them, they burst back with a trap of their own. And then at the end, the attempt to play the exits, but as we said, there was potential for it to get costly, but it ends up being a relatively comfortable round for Vitality once those warning signs went out of the way. As Degon would say, a submarine alarm was sounding, but luckily it was quieted just in time.
It's weird, I don't know what a submarine alarm sounds like.
I've never heard it in person, but I've heard an imitation, and it's quite alarming, I will say.
You know what? I agree with that. I can imagine it would be. Nonetheless, 2-0, this is where we expect the response. So far, those contact plays have done a little bit of damage. Having the flash ready, but this time it's almost just a double duelist crossfire. Normally, though, when you come into this sort of a bonus round, there's vulnerabilities for the side that won the first 2 rounds, but for Vitality, that isn't the case. At worst, take flight. They have a Guardian. Okay, they didn't manage to build up any of their ultimates just yet, so that's not going to pad the gap, but you do look at NongShim and go, okay, this round might be a little bit more difficult than you'd expect.
मैं इंस्टा पर अपलोड कर रहा हूँ स्टोरी
Retreat from that mid position. I did think this would be an even more difficult round with that split towards the B site, but they're going exploring. And it's dangerous territory, difficult terrain in front of them. Good flash, but X-Ross! He fires back for 2! Vitality, it looked like it avoided the danger. We thought it was Danger Man Danby, but X-Ross crossing off names, and well, okay, a 4v3 at least. Yumpy does well to pull that back. That pick could open up the site for the plant. Where the spike is on the other side of the map. There's 8 seconds left. 2 players to drop and no time. Certainly no chance left for Vitality.
Guy, it looked like there was an opportunity for recovery, but when there's only 15 seconds left, that kill on the other side of the map was only meant to really be a backstab of rotations. And the other players, after losing that initial fight to X-Ross, just didn't really have an opportunity. This was wonderfully clean. Like, sure, they had an extra stun coming through just moments later, but it really became irrelevant in the end. And you see the reason we talk so much about the double duelist over on that NongShim side. Both of them getting a multi-frag in this round. As said, though, that was the bonus of sorts. And now Vitality are going to come in with another purchase, but a victory here will leave them in a bit more of an awkward scenario.
And NongShim looking for a mid-fight of their own. Not only the 2 players pushed down, but one on short as well. Paranoia being primed. They're hoping to spot someone on catwalk. If Vitality step in to fill that space, NongShim will trigger a trap that's looking very deadly, at least for the moment. There it is, but they're a little further back. Able to hide in the corner. In goes the hot hat. Forced out into the open. And it will be Francis to claim the double. An immediate retreat called by NongShim as well. Happy with the early skirmish. They'll get out of there with a man advantage.
I love the way they're playing this. It almost reminds me of like an old school Xerxia, where the whole plan is to just have traps. Like you're just waiting with this sort of setup. And you look at teams that run a double duelist, especially on the defense, you go, how are you going to make this work other than just buy an op and hope you can hit a shot? But every single time, even in the rounds they've lost, they've had some sort of setup to give them an advantage.
30 seconds left.
Again, the time now ticking for Vitality. 25 seconds to to try and make a move in. Paranoia won't catch anything. Ivy is ready for the move to be made. That time ticking further down, and no trade to be had. It leaves just one remaining, and a stellar hold, a stellar setup.
NongShim बहुत heavy खेलती है यार.
Yeah, the plan didn't even work as intended, right? With the Paranoia going, nobody pushed up deep on Cat. Vitality in a decent position to be able to tuck in down below. But the hot hands changes things. Francis is there firing from the side. But it's not just one player. It is the entire setup there. It's the fact that Dambi's on short, the fact that you've got Francis and X-Ross pushed all the way down mid. They've got that utility ready to fire out on the back of it. And how quickly NongShim decided to just get out of there, cash in the advantages that they've claimed. The same setup that we've seen before from NongShim. This flash primed and ready. This time Vitality. Like they knew it was coming. Still, they'll lose one to it. And the ult popped up by X-Ross. Locks in the advantage. Francis as well. Not expected to be filling in this space. Even when Vitality expect aggression, they don't expect this much aggression.
Especially going into the low buy round, you might think you'd have a little bit more space, maybe a chance to grab an orb and make this round a bit more interesting, but Yumpy's at least done what Francis just hitting heads though. The individual capabilities of this NongShim roster on show, and there's no real chance for something to come out of this round. 3-2. It was a pistol and follow-up for Vitality, but other than that, it has been all NongShim on this defensive side. And I said, like when they played against Mates, it was a 3-9 attack that they didn't really get to come back from after they lost the pistol round. But it definitely seems like they have some solid ideas on this defense.
Well, so far it's been nothing but ideas, nothing but setups, nothing but traps that Vitality have to walk into.
Good time for
every step of the way. The pause here.
Pause ले लिया.
Well, I'm guessing Vitality.
I think normally our camera angle settles. That was the thing last year. Settles on the team that called the pause, and right there it was NongShim. I would be very surprised if they were the ones to take it. Quite possibly. I have no other way to tell, Tom. So that's what I'm going with for now, unless someone wants to let me know.
Yeah, I think that obviously in this case, especially the way the last few rounds have gone, it would make sense for Vitality to take a moment, listening to the coaching staff. I think even the fact that they've been playing these sort of more slow, defaulty rounds, and it's kind of played into the hands of their opponents, allowing them to have these sort of setups. And while for NongShim, now looking at an opportunity, but Vitality come into this one with pretty much everything they need. They're one off having all 5 ultimates online. I wouldn't be surprised to see Sayonara try and use that running back earlier in the round, but the defenders are not just going to sit pretty. They've got an aggressive attempt of their own.
Wait.
Bloodbath outside B, primed and ready for it. Dambi stuck in the corner as the Hunter's Fury rings out and some damage off of it. Chronicle ends up falling as a result, but Vitality, they've weathered that storm excellently. Still 3 players left alive, the spike under their control, and NongShim with no idea where the hit will come in. That looked like it was going to be a lot more dangerous.
सही बात है.
In the end, it's set up for a slower round for this defense. They have no info to fill in, and they decided to just stand here in this high setup. It's beautiful work.
क्या बात है यार.
Vitality probably assumed there that they would have put the majority of their force towards A site. Not necessarily the A site, but one of them. And instead, just standing in mid, standing on business. The spike has been found. Yumpy's alone in the round. Pretty much a sealed deal at this point. A big clutch needed from the IGL of Vitality.
Guys, make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
There's too many angles left for him to clear. We need one of them instantly. Okay, there's the first. Second with an opportunity as well. And now running for the hills is Francis. The fact is there is still time. He can cross towards that A site. It's going to be a running race, and it's one that Yumpy will be able to win. Especially with the door closed. It's going to take a moment for Francis to break, and that should give him time to not quite enough. Francis just hot enough on his heels. A nice attempt from Yumpy. But the attempt doesn't garner a round.
The full sprint from Francis. Lucky he went back to check market. He saw Yumpy crossing. Although here, he kind of hung his teammate out to dry. He's running away during this fight, by the way. They're having a three-man standoff, and he just legged it to market from having been right around that corner. I bet Ivy had some words to say to him there, but he probably has to bite his tongue because he won the clutch.
A little bit close for comfort. But ultimately, again, it's the early round.
7वां राउंड चल रहा है 4 नॉकशम निकाल चुका है 2 वाइटलिटी
3 players in mid, 1 player on shore.
एक शॉट पे 3 मिनट में
Only a singular trip in play. And the fact is, the goal of Vitality is to try and contact in and take their weapons away. They're going to take nobody's weapons away because there's nobody there. In fact, they've done a full execute with double ultimates, and because their opponents have completely abandoned the site, I was going to say they got nothing, but Durka gets a spam kill.
Spam kill हो रहे हैं.
Ivy's probably muttering under his breath. That's what she deserved. That's what you get for last round. Well, the hero of the previous has been deleted and dealt with right off rip. NongShim, a man down on the way through. RB already tagged heavily, sporting some serious scars from that initial fight. And Jambi tries his best to get them into the site, get them some control in main. But with him falling, NongShim have given up. It's time to fall back and give that third round to Vitality. Yeah, those double ults committed for the site for nothing. But that shot through the smoke changed the game.
Yeah, realistically, it probably would have been the exact same result if there was somebody on the site.
Angelo.
Probably getting a kill, or there's going to be a player with no gun. So I don't think NongShim it must be annoying from them, but for Vitality, it is probably exactly where they expect.
कल संडे की भी नाइट है तुम्हारी.
Form of advantage. Even still, though, that opener definitely helped them out. With a little bit of luck going a long way. For NongShim now, looking to try and find a response. Of course, those ultimates have now faded from Vitality's side. They are also in a similar boat, though. It's only the Blade Storm for Durka that really holds too much of a threat. But will this be where NongShim quell their aggression a little bit? Because that might change how things go for Vitality. When they've had to hit into the sites quite late, it's definitely been a bit more problematic.
Here on the attack, chipping away bit by bit. It's often what we want to see, that long road to the defensive side. And for Vitality, yeah, it came with the very, very hefty price tag in that previous round. Although the ults might not have directly found the round, they had to commit them to get into a site. They felt like they did. Now we move back towards a more grounded round. They move to this B site, looking for the fight, almost punishing that main aggression, but NongShim, they've got the information and they've been able to dip out. That trap could be a real problem here for Durka if he decides to go for that updraft dash out, but it looks like re-aggression is the name of the game for NongShim, and they found one.
Yeah, and they've done so much damage as well. They hit Chronicle earlier, but I think Yumpy gets connected on by the spams. And Francis is going back for more. What? He just has no fear. Around the wall he goes. And see you later, Chronicle. You might be a player with 3 trophies to your belt, but Francis doesn't give a damn. And that leaves just 2 remaining once again. 20 seconds. They've had to deal with so much of this aggression. They're getting out of this seems impossible. There's even a paranoia left at 13 seconds on the clock. There is nothing that Vitality can do about this one. And it seems like their pause may have caused a flash in the pan, but we are right back to winning ways for NongShim.
Yeah, even saving seems to be something that they'll be denied, at least for the first. Yumpy able to tuck in and carry that weapon forward, but that is a big blow for Vitality in the ever-winding road to the defensive side. Now looking perilous as NongShim have responses after responses. Their traps have been good. This one, though, was ridiculous. The reveal and a cloud burst, the re-aggression from Francis, the walk through the wall to shut down Kron. This has been about as clean of a start to the defense as you want, and even though it's 5-3, it feels like NongShim have a chance to lock away a lot more rounds than this if they keep up this kind of pace.
Well, it's worth mentioning as well that when they were swapping things up and not having Danby on the Neon, the guy they had on the Neon was Francis. He was the guy that played these more aggressive roles, and you can kind of see why. He's still doing it on Sova. Bro just swinging into Chronicle like it's absolutely nothing. Well, now, right back into a more standard execute. Durka trying to lead the way, but it's an immediate shutdown. Good trade from Sayonara, but again, it seems like the defenders have come out on top. Danby even going back through the smoke alone. And he's wiped out too as he does it. It leaves Chronicle. He has a 1v1 on the site. The door has actually been closed behind Ivy, leaving him completely isolated. Now he's bought time for his teammates to rotate in. Chronicle on the first, but Francis not giving him anything. Danby's flank. It's just time being bought. That's all Francis is doing. He's just baiting. He's just baiting for the freest kill of Danby's career, and eventually, even on 5
Nice.
he'll be there to close out the round. An absolute
6-3
going back and forth through that smoke.
Yeah, Danby started to feel it in the middle of that round. You could see it. The fact that he hits the stun, and I think when he throws that stun, he knows that probably hasn't hit. He knows that player is probably more than capable of taking the fight. I just don't think he cares. And that's the scary thing for NongShim. The traps have been working. They allowed Vitality one since that second round and immediately fought back into it. And that was a round that Vitality dumped all of their ultimates into. And other than that, NongShim now hitting a point where Francis in the round before, that one there for Danby, it looks like they're having fun.
Oh, they're disrespecting them completely. They're just like, okay, if we can get away with anything until you shut us down, we're just going to continue to do it. In goes Durka, out goes Durka. Danby's just pushed through a smoke and headshot him with the sniper. And well, that was kind of the main crux of the round. That's been one of the major problems so far for Vitality is you have this Jet Phoenix on attack. The Phoenix has gone missing. And the Jet hasn't been getting the openers. And of course, just again, through the smoke goes Francis. He really does have zero fear. He's doing the same thing he did in prior rounds. They're even waiting for him at this point, but it's meaningless. 7-3. The Korean powerhouse are looking right back in their Santiago form.
No, they really are. They came into this event. I guess they don't want to see NRG outlive them, one of the teams that they cut through on that Santiago run in playoffs. All of the other squads, well, they were here. You had Mates, you had G2, you had PaperX. None of them still sticking around for NongShim. That's telling them we've got a chance to actually take this trophy. And we might even end up facing NRG for it, which will be just fine for them. A record that they're happy to repeat. For Vitality, on the other hand, the trophy's got to be out of their mind at this point. It looks like they're not even competing.
Well, that is the fun thing with Lev not making it to this event through the qualifier. And you go on recency bias, and you should be looking at a team like NongShim. The fact is, they just had such a poor stage one regionally that you kind of count them out already. But it's almost like they were baiting us. They go, okay, we're going to swap back to, the stuff we were doing back when we won the tournament, and everything just clicks again. Everything starts to look much better. And well, this is already the second tactical pause taken by Vitality in a singular half. Now, don't get me wrong. We saw this when they played versus NRG. The defensive side was by far the better. They struggled to get those attack side rounds. But I do feel like an 8-4 and a 9-3 are fairly different scenarios. And with how things have been going so far, other than a round where they walk into a site that was empty, use 2 ults and headshot someone through a smoke, I don't think any of these rounds have been close.
Yeah, it did start off clean for Vitality in those first 2, but the pistol and follow-up, that's not really the meat and potatoes of the game. For NongShim, 7 rounds. The Hunter's Fury from Francis. He's found the tag to start with. The third pulse going through as Sayonara hunts him down, but the running back finds nothing. A little bit of space, but a smoke pops up, and that space is all gone. In fact, Danby is using it to walk through, and he'll get Yumpy. Danby is playing one hell of a game. He stunned himself.
He got out.
And he still gets out, well, most of the way.
Oh, well, he got out onto the site, but Durka was there to recover. It seems like Vitality are now just going to try and execute off of this. RB still here. Francis, of course. Where else would he be? directly into the action. This is such an obscure angle. There's no way they're ready for this, but they are able to trade. Profek with an impactful double. Finally, some life being seen in Vitality, but they haven't won the round just yet. Ivy is hot on their heels.
It took Danby stunning himself to give them a chance for Vitality. This can't be one that they let slip, and a double swing locks it in. 4 rounds guaranteed at the half at least. With a pistol round under their belt, you thought it would be a little earlier that we saw that on the board, but
yeah,
it comes in the nick of time again though.
Look at the HP at the end.
A close round, narrowly surviving for these players, and like I said, this comes off the back of Danby stunning himself. If he doesn't, I don't think they win this round.
Well, that's the 4th round. As said, I think a 7-5 for Vitality, it's not too bad. I think they'll be quite happy going into the defensive half. It's the manner in which we've got here. NongShim have been in the driver's seat all the way through their defense. And that little bit of additional confidence might completely turn how their attack side goes. Like, they've still got the pieces for a good attack side. It was just that in recent form, that's where they've struggled. But it seems like they're not struggling with a lot so far in this map. Danby for the first time bringing out the operator, a completely different look to what we've seen through this game so far. And no doubt we're seeing the drone used in early positioning. It almost has to be with how aggressive their opponents have been.
They will at least clear that position, but not for long. One smoke goes up, and all of a sudden you think Danby's gone into wine. Instead, he is looking for a pick in mid, finding it as well. Out for more, and it's a bit too much. Ooh, that had been spotted, but RB won the fight. I'm not even sure from where he was. He could have seen Profek before that. Got the jump on him. Despite the info being known of Vitality, 1 man down and Chronicle less than half. It's looking like an 8-4 half.
Well, and of course, the defensive side haven't stopped pushing.
Naturally.
At this point, then you have to know that they could be anywhere, everywhere, all at once. And there we go, easy kill for RB. And this is the thing, you don't know what ground you've gained, you don't know what you've lost, because they have no respect for the positioning that you could have taken. Sayonara at least will be able to get one, but immediately RB is on that flank. He thought about TPing into the site. That would have been manic. Instead, though, his teammates are cleaning up the mess, leaving Yumpy again alone in a clutch. He came close earlier in the game. This time, the spike is ticking in his favor, but he's being slowly surrounded, slowly crunched in on, and needs to find a pick quickly, and he will not be able to. It's RB, the old boy on the NongShim Force, that have been able to take things home. 8-4, a very good defensive half.
Well, considering they lost the pistol, yeah, this could easily be double digits on the board for NongShim. And the way that the rifle rounds went,
it could be 12-0.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it could be so much more. This, honestly, Vitality feel lucky to get out of there with 4 rounds, and this isn't the face that I expected to see from this team here today. Again, we talked about this squad. When it comes to international experience, they've got some under their belt now. But they won't have played in front of a crowd like this, a crowd that's rooting for them and them alone. They heard their opponents mount the stage earlier on to a sea of boos. I think their opponents, the decibel level was louder, but there wasn't nobody cheering for them. And yet now they find themselves trailing. That's where you got to dig deep. Perhaps that crowd energy can help out. Speaking of which, let's send this one over to a good friend of mine. That's right, it's Ian Chambers.
Thanks, Mitch. That guy absolutely loves doing an impression of my accent, so thank you. Keep doing it, Mitch. I love it. I'm standing by with a Vitality fan here. What I love about the Esports World Cup, I talk about it all the time, fans travel from all over the world to witness a little piece of esports history. What's your name and where are you from?
My name's Sam. I come from Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. So you've come a long way to come and see this. How big of a fan of Valorant are you?
I think here is a great place for esports, and it's great for Valorant. I think here is I can enjoy very enjoy it.
Yeah. So you're wearing a Vitality shirt. That did not start too well. How are you feeling about your chances in this matchup?
I trust Chronicle and I trust Sayonara is the best of the player in the world, I think. So they can win this game.
That's good to hear. I'm sure that they'll be loving to hear that support. When you arrived here, what was your impression? What did you think of the size of the Esports World Cup, the stage here? What do you make of it all?
I think the stage is great, and we have a lot of players loving Valorant, so I like here very much.
Were you here yesterday in the arena?
No, I'm come from 6th of Junior.
Okay, amazing. You think your boys can bring it back?
Yes.
All right, Sam, take a seat. Lovely to meet you. Enjoy the Esports World Cup. Let's get back into the game.
Thank you, Ian Chambers. Now, as we get back into the game, Tom, this is where things start to heat up. For Vitality, they've looked a little bit cold, but now this is their map pick. This is the defensive side that we have so much hope for. And if things don't get off to a good start, even a pistol, I'm going to get worried.
Yeah, I think the fact that both Durka and Sayonara have been having a rough game, especially Sayonara in their last game, ended up with 30 kills for them to come back versus NRG. I think they might need that once again. Nonetheless, it's a good start. Chronicle with the opener. Durka definitely not shying. Well, actually, I was going to say Durka. Yeah, there's a few players not shying away from a fight. There's more defenders in middle than there are attackers. And that's something that gives an opportunity for a fight, but every fight is going just one direction.
Holy
Maybe
shit.
The game's not been going great for Vitality, but the Pistols certainly have.
Yeah, it's definitely where they're doing their best work so far. And it was the same starting out the last half. Don't forget, the pistol was dominant. It looked like Vitality came to play, and NongShim were getting left behind. But things took a turn after round number 2. For Vitality, this represents the way back in. The winding road grows a little less steep if they can connect this next one, especially.
That's what I'm talking about!
You always know that no matter how far behind you are, man like Yumpy's always going to be getting loud. A round's a round to that guy. Doesn't matter the score.
Hard punch.
Danby's gone in with the Stinger and light shields. Now, I've seen hero buys before, but this is
Wow.
there it goes. Very quickly.
Wow.
Light shields don't save you from an outlaw. So, unfortunately, that investment will go amiss, and I'm going to be intrigued to see what he now goes into the next round with, because he doesn't have the credits for it. Sayonara even managing to pick off another, and now for RB. Wow. If anything, he just wants to go the other way to make sure the orb he will give up doesn't go to that Phoenix.
Well, an orb being claimed inside main. RB's got a target. And a close range fight as well. Not a bad pickup onto Chronicle. The plant can now be found. A little bit of extra credits, but more particularly, there is now a growing chance. RB's been good so far. I mean, he would have to exceed greatness.
1 versus 4.
Come close, but
it's called Guardian.
Ooh.
Maybe we should just stop talking about the guns that they
क्या
have.
accuracy है
It
भाई.
seems to be the second you mention a weapon, that's where Durka just immediately eliminates them. So there you go.
Insane.
Could have been a lot worse.
Maybe I'll keep going. Pal has my PayPal.
Ah, okay. I've actually heard he owns that company.
He does.
You need to pay
just
PAL.
a request, yeah. Pay PAL. Well, very important early rounds for Vitality. Connected. The job has been done, but now the difficult task remains.
8-6.
Full buy. And thinking about how aggressive Francis and Danby were in that first half, how successful they were with it. Now that they're on the attack, I'm even more scared of what they could put out. Vitality seem to want to scrap towards B main. It's just going to be utility off. No, yeah, Chronicle's thinking about it. They've seen presence now. They won't push in.
He's only got a Stinger. I feel like his utility holds a little bit more value than the gun.
मैं बता रहा हूँ वैसे.
And you can see how fast they're expecting their opponents.
अगर नाइट का कोई रोल आता भी है ना तो कर सकते हैं, कोई मसला नहीं है. फिर अगले महीने से उसे कहना कि नाइट जो है मेरी है, ठीक है. अगर तो वो ज़्यादा रोला कर रहा है, क्योंकि अभी क्या तारीख आज क्या है, 10 है ना, तो 20 दिन पड़े हुए हैं मेरे पास. आगे 20 दिन मेरा कोई मैच नहीं है.
But even still, an inherent advantage now picked up by NongShim, and yeah, it's safe to say they know exactly where their opponents are.
मार दे यार.
You know, an attempt to spam back. I think that's about all we can amount it to.
30 तारीख से आगे Call of Duty Warzone के मैच शुरू होंगे. वो मेरे ख्याल से एक हफ्ता होंगे. फिर उसके बाद Call of Duty के वो 2-3 हफ्ते हैं. 2 हफ्ते मेरे ख्याल से.
Anyone but Francis, but no
मैं
shots
क्या बोल
landing
रहा
for
हूँ.
Vitality. That is a big
30
round
तारीख को
for
Call of
NongShim.
Duty Warzone के मैच शुरू होंगे. वो 3, 4, 5 दिन रहेंगे.
It's a coin
फिर
flip at
उसके
best at
बाद
times.
CS
You lose the
2
second
के
round,
शुरू
we've
हो
got
जाएंगे.
bigger
Counter
problems, although
Strike
we've
के.
seen that here, especially in the first
और
couple
वो
of days.
जाएंगे अगस्त 21-22
This is
तक.
NongShim's chance to keep running
बस
away with it.
फिर
They know that the
फाइनल होंगे
momentum,
उनके.
the ball is still very much in their court. And the most concerning thing, as I said, is thinking about Dambi, how confident he was towards the end, especially of that first half. Now on the attack, he's having a round like that. It's definitely alarm bells for Vitality, but this is a big buy for the defensive side.
Yeah, operator in for Dirk. Sayonara, one away from having his ultimate, although saying that, Exos just got his online. Looks to set them up nicely. Now they need to clear Ivy, because although he didn't have the greatest of first halves, that last round was disgusting. Able to quell the aggression of Vitality. Spike drop. Completely solo. But for now at least, a little bit more tempered by NongShim. It does really seem like they're building up into that Phoenix ult B-site press.
हमने वैसे तुक्के पे मार दे गोली.
This is what Vitality tried to do. So their big full buy rounds where they dumped their ults. There was no one home. This time it's a different story, but the Thorns waiting, the op firing to slow the push. They pump the brakes.
क्या accuracy होती है यार Utils की भी.
They are going to the B site, but they're in danger. That spike's being dropped towards the stairs. A double invade from Vitality. Wasn't even needed as Chronicle.
Wait.
After Scalp. 30 seconds left. X-Ross and Francis, a lot of work to do, and it's left to just one. As good as he's been, there's no way back into this round.
Comeback हो रहा है.
Really solid defensive hold from Chronicle there. That was one where as well, it seemed like not only did they get so tunnel visioned in on the NongShim side, I think either 2 or 3 players got pinged twice by the reveal, which is madness that nobody shot that when it was fired over the top. So that gave all information over to the opponents, but also then when you send through the Phoenix ult, it just activate the wall. Nobody else was through on the other side, so they got staggered. It meant the rotation could come in. Became quite easy for Dirk to make sure that ult didn't go anywhere. And well, with quite a lot thrown into this round, Vitality came out smelling of roses.
Well, that's it. They were very much on standby for this exact play. They had 2 players in the spawn. One sat on site with turtled utility in the form of Chronicle. The second, the spike makes it over to the stairs, and the rest of the squad is staggered behind because of the wall. Because I don't think it was just the Phoenix ult, right? RB went through as well with the spike. So I think
maybe, yeah.
It's like
you might TP through.
So now the ult fades. You've got one dude in the middle of the open with the spike on his own. And as soon as that falls on stairs, as soon as he walked towards stairs, it's like, this is over. Because Vitality had the rotates in time. They had boots on the ground, right position. And already, you can see the timeout was called immediately. The second that one slipped, because there were a lot of mistakes there. The initial execute, the reveal not being shot, the spike being deep on its own, isolated. That can't happen.
I think it's also the context of the last 2 times they played this map. Because it feels like a bit of an early pause, but when you go 3-9, 3-9 on attack sides in back-to-back games, I think the coaching staff very quickly realized that if we're going to get ahead of this, we need to do it early. We don't want to allow this map to slip away after having such a solid half. Dear Lord. Wow, Exros has got a little bit unlucky with that one. A wallbang that has ripped his head off in the first seconds of the round. And well, losing your Phoenix like that, not going to help out the problems.
No, I mean, that's not that bold of a statement, I think. Fantastic work by Vitality early. They found 2 spams, 1 for a kill, 1 for damage, but Dambi quick to try and recover. They've taken out the Vice utility, but still on site. Yumpy remains 53 HP, and they know that he's here, but not exactly where. The snake in the grass strikes for at least 1. Can he get another bite into a pound of flesh? He will! RB's caught on the retreat. Yumpy dancing with death, but every step is perfectly placed. Francis The last man standing. 4 to take down. Yumpy's there from the beginning until the very end for Vitality. They are 1 behind.
That was just good positioning from him throughout the round. Takes a lot of early spam damage, but then there's a lot of spam damage done back in response. The remaining 3 players end up low, but it's more so the molly utilized by Sayonara to give him the freebie. The second he clears RB, the other 2 players are back towards the site, and he's able to isolate some more favorable duels. At that point, if RB turns around, he's trapped on the stairs and there's nowhere to go. So that molly helps him out this one immeasurably, because it gives him a place to hold onto that ground. And then, hey, even cleaning things up towards the end.
Yes, I saw.
We spoke about how this defense from Vitality has been stellar, and the opposite for the opposing side and the attack, but after what we saw in the first half, I was sort of fully on the cards.
Guys, कौन live stream पे है?
NongShim almost running away with this game.
इतनी बेल बजा के बच्चे भाग जाते हैं.
Early in this one, and it seems like the momentum now is firmly with Vitality once again.
I've heard this is now NongShim with another timeout. That's
दो दफा टाइम आउट ले चुके हैं.
That's back-to-back, no? Is there 2 rounds? That's back-to-back rounds. As a player, that's one of the worst things that you can hear. You know that there's mistakes being made. You see it. You just lost 2 rounds, and the first one started with a revealed double ping and 3 players. This one, it really feels like the teacher's taking you down to the principal's office at this point. Like, it's time to behave. But for NongShim,
well, they're still in the lead.
A lead that was, yeah, but that's the thing. Even though you've got that lead, with the context of their previous attack sides and double pauses like that, I think the morale is going to be picking up now. Like, that is going to do a number on your mental.
I guess. But it also then, I don't know, maybe I would have waited another one to see how the eco goes, but I guess it must have been a scenario that was worrying enough.
Something's wrong, man. They must have called something in the timeout, and they're not hearing the lessons being applied. They're hearing the same communication issues or whatever it is, the same reactions. Maybe it was RB going towards the smoke there, being caught out by the molly. This attempt to get ahead of Vitality, to catch them off guard, even though they've been ahead of the rotates. Whatever it is, it's not a good feeling to have those pauses called back-to-back. You don't... on one side of the stage, for Vitality, they're sat there going, we're not even in the lead and they're panicking. Let's go. This is our game now.
Back to the B site. Eventually, there is going to be the spot, but the fact is there hasn't been any need to move this vice wall just yet, because it has had value every single round. The TP, I think, has been heard, and then the spike's been dropped on the other side of the wall. RB is the only man standing anywhere near and just stopped going towards Chronicle site. I think that might be the answer. Every time that vice wall has been there, they haven't even got close.
Yeah, the vice wall in the way, and Danby's wall very short. It was
hey, that's the average size.
The fast line did not cover very much distance.
That wall
there.
looks massive to me.
Fast lane. Yeah, no, it was huge. Huge. He got off to a flying start. He speeded down the fast lane and then hit the end of it immediately.
Yeah, I would say that's at least, what, like 5'7"? A little bit.
A little bit more, maybe? 5 or...
That's your height, right?
Wow. See, I actually thought you were making a 6'7" joke. I thought that's what that was. 5'7" or maybe a little more. I thought I didn't think you were referencing the fact that I'm 5'7" and 3/4. 3/4 is important. That does put it above average.
Okay.
3/4, which is an important thing. Anyways, what is important is speaking about being slightly above the average. The average rounds here, 9. Each team, I've added them up divided by 2. I did that quickly as well.
He's never been rage bait, by the way.
Now this is I chose to go, all right, listen, so double digits is what they're looking for here. For Vitality, defensive side starts out slowly. And for NongShim on the attack, it's slow as well. They're looking for a little bit of mid-control, looking for a fight. Understandable, they were picked off by shots through walls and spams in the previous round. It was just a low buy, but you don't want this one to slip away in the same fashion. Vitality. Shadows traveling. Not going for any aggression. You know, it's almost like NongShim are countering themselves. Let's wait for them to push, boys. But they're not pushing.
Nice.
They've got a passive operator
30 seconds
in play as well. Dirk has sat back. Danby looking to take the space. That does mean that Re-aggression comes in. There's Durka again with that operator. He's able to just deal death from above. Still yet to be taken out, but
क्या बात?
one comes through. Durka with another shot already. His third kill of the round, and he's diving in. Durka's taken over this one. You go one side, you meet Chronicle, you go to the other side, you meet Durka. And while Perfect has to close the round, but it felt like that could have easily been an ace for Durka. What a round from him.
Oh, him getting the ace only came down to if they wanted to risk him having it. I think I might have just seen him at the end there saying, give it to me. He wanted the ace, but the round comes above all. Double digits now for Vitality, a team that outside of the pistol and follow-up for the majority of the first half looked deactivated. It looked like they had disappeared. Yet now rematerializing right at the finish line, right when their opponents were there. No timeouts anymore.
क्या राउंड खेला
They
यार?
have to keep rolling with the
NongShim
punches,
no
but every
और
blow
is landing for Vitality.
Vitality
All the
10.
players that were missing have now woken up. I think Durka was 7 and 9 in the first half, and he was just diving in head first to get shot, so you kind of understand it. But now, given that operator, he truly is a different beast on this defensive side. Already lead extended, and while you thought that you could dodge Chronicle by going away from that B side, well, now they have swapped the setup. I think realizing that there has been no success towards B, they're going to try to go back to A once again. Already getting completely denied.
Even as the comeback was underway, the crowd was quiet, but I've heard the chants begin. They're starting to believe. They waited for the lead to be taken.
It's an opportunity.
NongShim losing Francis, losing Ivy. This was the thing. Vitality knew where these players were. You could see it from the get-go. Kron here to finish the deal. Okay, never mind. And instead it's going to be Dirk. Instead it's going to be Sayonara.
Nice, yaar.
Vitality 11 to 9 now. The lead
क्या बात?
stolen from their opponents. 8-4 at the half. Now it's a commanding lead for Vitality. And with the wind in their sails, there's not much more distance to go. Sails. There's not much Vitality. And with the wind in their sails, there's not much more distance to go.
Wow, completely blinded. He still manages to get the kill, and I think then even not knowing that Durka was in that, couple of consolation frags for RB, but this has been a game of two halves, and somehow Vitality are looking like they might be even more dominant than their opponents were. Back to basics, fast to take towards this ace. Although saying that, 2 players are in, the rest of them are a little bit further behind. They're looking to try and take the weaponry away, and they're just losing fights. This is so disjointed. Finally, though, RB has just managed to strike back with 2. It looked like this was going to be a mess, but he might have just saved them.
Still a Hunter's Fury online for Vitality, but
9-11 चल रहा है.
NongShim sending numbers in the other direction. They think that the full rotates come in. The spike is going solo towards B main. I have to hope that they are going to delay this a little bit. I have to hope that they don't think that this side is wide open. There's no drone. There's no reveal there for Francis. He's slowing his roll a little bit. He's clearing main. He's being cautious, but they've lost a lot of space. 2 players sat inside A main. Spike outside B. 1 in mid. This is a crazy round from NongShim. I don't mean crazy in a good way, but it's certainly something that Vitality is finding it hard to predict.
It looked like they were going to late hit towards the A site, but I think they've ended up working out because of the aggression of the defense. The 2 players caught by RB, and then the third after they go looking. And he might just close it. No, never mind. Chronicle's at least been able to pick him off. Now that Hunter's Fury is still available, but it's finding a position that would bring them value. Maybe as a disruption, or maybe it just won't be utilized at all. 2 players underneath at balcony, knows there's at least 1 down there. Chronicle's going to have to be the danger man though. X-Ross already shooting back. Able to help his teammate out, and now it's left down to 1. NongShim have their response. There's definitely a bit of a
10-11. Nice.
brawly style round. But it's a round, and that's all that will matter to them.
Yeah, at this stage, a slip up, lost the perspective. They still have a timeout, if I'm not mistaken. Reassess. They'll approach this, just sending the op out for the pick. But the thing is, as time ticks away, NongShim closing the distance on short. There is now some danger there for Durka. They should be ready for it, and indeed, baiting out the first shot, they'll send him back.
Francis got hit on that. Already a little bit of additional damage. Drone looking to just re-clear any of the ground that they lost, and Prophet has spotted out a player towards long. It might sell a bit of a ruse that they're still going in this direction. Instead, Hunter's Fury.
Nice.
He already tagged up Francis. That's going to be one gone. Timing actually works out for Xros, though. He's able to clear the line, but then Yuffie just swings in and pops 2 heads in an instant. I don't even think he should have expected anyone to be there. Okay. A little bit thicker than expected, maybe, for Chronicle.
No, that was all part of the plan. He's rubbing
show
it
the junk in the trunk.
Exactly.
To bait the opponents.
Blind them with the full moon. It's a brave strategy.
New ability?
30 seconds left.
Radianite malfunction. Well, it looks like 12 on the board for Vitality. 20 seconds, Spike miles away. An ult for RB, and he's moving towards the site. I mean, I think they might get a plan out of this.
I don't even...
Clearing it, he might try it. 10 seconds, he'd have to go now.
Left.
Okay, that's one at least. That's the thing, the rest of the players look like they were just going to be holding for the retake. Because that spike was dropped by the Hunter's Fury. They know that they don't have it at this point.
He's probably kicking himself now, clearing that back boathouse with 5 seconds going, I could have just planted, what are they doing?
Yeah, but I like it from the Vitality side, because they just went, they probably assumed they did have the spike, so they don't expect him to TP.
They assumed he either has it or he's going to use his ult to take it, so...
And then rather than leaving Chronicle half HP alone on the site, it's a lot of sense of a victory. Shim can get their first streak of rounds. And while you can see what Profek's doing, he had himself a rifle. Now he's going to hide with a judge in the smoke. The entirety of the opposition waiting on the other side.
Well, there's some tickle damage from Profek, letting his presence be known. Picks up the rifle. Shot landed by clean onto RB. Paranoia couldn't be better from Profek. We've seen Danby in the corner, left him on a sliver of health. Now it's only Ivy. 50 up against 5.
एक बंदा रह गया यार.
Nice. Coming his way. He's got to run. Dodge it to start with. A kill found, but a formality surely. He has a minute to take down the entirety of Vitality as the home crowd roars. 50 seconds. And then I bet the rest of the squad's already wondering what comp they're running on Split.
Yeah, there's absolutely no hope in this round.
एक बंदे ने रोला डाला है.
It would have to be an era of cataclysmic.
30 seconds left.
Oh, nice.
Although Yumpy's given him 25 seconds. They all know exactly where he is. He now knows exactly where they are, but I think he could have had an educated guess of that anyway, and Durka homed in on the angle.
Wait, nice shot, nice try.
But in the end, Vitality will get the job done. From first half that looked like a pretty worrying deficit, their defense was almost flawless. But for a round for RB, of course it is the map choice of Vitality, but now they'll look to head in towards Split and see if they could take this in a 2-0 fashion.
It is a map that Vitality chose, but for NongShim, it's gotta hurt. Feeling like they had it within their grasp. A magic trick pulled. They opened their palm to find it bare, stepping in to the rest of this series without a map. A reverse sweep needed for NongShim. Vitality have stepped up in a big way, feeding off that energy from the crowd. And now, one of the next 2 will be enough to send NongShim home. With how this started, that's a damn sight better than what it looked like this day would end as. For now though, folks, that is all the time we've got on the caster desk. Let's send this over to my pal, Puckett.
Into the breakdown here, we welcome in Athena at big time to the studio. And Athena, I want to start with you. 8-4, NongShim on defense is making a statement. They silence this crowd out of the gates. How did they get the early lead?
It's crazy because they
looked so good on that defensive side. They were really proactive, making sure they're going for a lot of these fights and setting themselves up for success. I think, Morgan, you talked a little bit about something in the green room, something about trap.
Yeah, I feel like the defensive game plan here from NongShim was rock solid. We've got some replays we can take a look through in just a little bit, but it reminded me a lot of what Leviathan were doing over in London. I think they had a